Good day, guys. This is another episode, the new edition of the Ridgeback's Rumble Talk, and today we are joined by the fantastic Victoria. Victoria, how are you doing?
I'm good, David. How are you?
I'm pretty fantastic, thank you. How has this whole period been for you, being at home, the pandemic, with school, everything all together?
It's actually been all right. Right now, I'm living in a house with some roommates who are my friends, so it's been really nice to just like hang out at home with them. And school is like a bit of an adjustment, but it's going well, and the lectures don't actually feel that different. So
Okay,
yeah.
that's good then. Good to see that things are flowing quite nicely. So before we get into that discussion, we'll still talk more about that. Just to give a little bit of a background, if you don't know Victoria, Victoria plays in the women's lacrosse team, is or was, whatever you want to say, is the number 12 in the team. And I believe you play defense as well, if I'm
Yeah.
correct. Yes, perfect. And you are from Etobicoke,
Mm-hmm.
correct. And she's also in her fourth year of mechanical engineering, which is pretty interesting. I want to talk some more about how you balance both of them alongside that. And she also won the Rookie of the Year in the 2017-2018 season. And depending on when this video comes out, her birthday was actually a few days ago as well. But happy belated birthday too.
Thank
And
you.
lots of other interesting stuff. But before I start asking you any questions about the Ridgebacks, about lacrosse and whatnot, I just want to ask you a few questions just to get you warmed up, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So from your previous experience as well as your current experience, who do you get along with best on the team?
On the team, I feel like I get along pretty well with like everyone. Should I name someone specific?
Feel free. You can drop names if you want.
I don't know. I feel like just like other people in Eng, we have like a special bond, just like from being in Eng and like also being on lacrosse. But I honestly love everybody on the team, and like I feel like I get along with everyone. So
That's a good answer. You don't want to pick out anyone in particular. That's actually nice. You like the whole team altogether. So now talking about your head coach, though, or just the general administration of the lacrosse team, what did you like the most about them? What's unique about them?
I feel like really like there's just like a good sense of like support there. And yeah, just like a lot of like support and encouragement. I really like. And also just like, yeah, I've been able to learn so much from playing here.
That's really good. And I mean, who doesn't need all the support and encouragement right now, especially when we're all distant from each other? So that's a good thing to know. And one last question, though. I know before you said you didn't want to pick out your favorite person on the team and whatnot, but this is just a question I like to ask. Like, who would you say is the funniest person on the team?
Funniest person? Oh, I would say Amanda Damasio is pretty funny. She always makes me laugh.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Shout out to Amanda.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk a bit more about what it's been like for you with COVID. Now, I know that the pandemic started after the last season ended, so I guess that didn't affect it as much. But of course, moving into this new school year, it's not as easy to have such a season happen. So, what is the current situation with the whole team right now in terms of events that are to come, or is there still going to be a season? Are you guys still practicing? What's it like right now?
Yeah, so right now we have ETS, which is like our training, like strength and conditioning training. And then we also have some practices. So right now we have 2 practices a week. But I don't think this year we're going to actually be able to play against any other schools. Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, I would have loved to see some good lacrosse action. So, altogether, then, at least from your previous experience, thankfully you've been able to play for some years in the team. You've been able to have a lot of games there. What would you say the future of Ridgebacks lacrosse then looks like now, after this whole pandemic is over?
After this whole pandemic, I'm hoping it'll be able to return to normal, but I think also having this time to like really train and like come together as a team will be really good, and like hopefully next season we'll be able to come back like even stronger.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm guessing you would have graduated by then, right?
So I'm actually doing my degree in 5 years, so I'll still be
Oh,
here hopefully when we'll have a season.
perfect. So we'll get to see you one more time in action then.
Yeah.
That's great. So, of course, we can't predict the future yet. And of course, we're very optimistic about it. But I'm just making that point and looking back at the past, what has been some major highlights for you? I know you're still going to make some more highlights in the future in your last season, but what have been some major highlights for you in the past?
I think like last season was really good for us. It was really fun, and we placed higher than we had before, like in the finals, like compared to previous years when I had been on the team. So yeah, that was really fun. I guess that's pretty general saying like all of last season, but I really did enjoy it.
Yeah, the team performed actually quite well, made it all the way to the championship. We didn't go all the way, of course, to win it, but still, that's a massive, massive feat. And I remember one moment at least when you won Athlete of the Week. Of course, I always do check that. I have to see. But that was during the weekend when we played against York and we won 23-0. And you particularly stood out in that game. So I'm not sure if you can remember clearly what that day was like, but what was the experience like for you?
Yeah, I remember like that game because I normally play defense, but I was playing a bit of like midi forward a bit. So yeah, that was fun. I actually got a goal, which was I think it might be my first goal like ever since like being on the lacrosse team, because normally I'm like not like that far up the field. So yeah, I remember that was really fun, just like kind of like switching it up a bit for that game.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations to you again. Nobody
Thank you.
ever forgets the first goal. So that's a massive one. So kind of, I want to take things a bit further now. Now, I want to talk more about you, of course, as a sports person, your lifestyle and whatnot, in accordance with the lacrosse and everything. But of course, I have a few more warm-up questions, as I like to call them, before I get into that. So this is something a lot of people, of course, would like to know. And I ask this to everyone. What would you say is one weird thing about you that a lot of people don't know that you'd like
A
to keep a
weird
secret?
thing. That's kind of thinker. Okay. I really like etymology.
Ooh,
So
okay.
yeah, just like finding out like the origin of words and kind of like how they got to be their current like how they currently are. I find that really interesting.
Interesting. So what's the origin of lacrosse, the word itself?
Well, I think that was like um I'm assuming it's from like I don't know specifically, but like kind of like the stick, like if when like French settlers, if they started playing it, I think that's kind of like the name that they gave it. But
Uh,
yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I wouldn't know. This is a learning experience for me. So perfect. And let's see. If a genie visited you today and gave you three wishes, this is a classic question.
Yeah.
What would you wish for?
I think I would wish for the pandemic to be over. I think anybody
Same,
would say that now.
same.
But yeah, I probably wish for the pandemic to be over. I think also like I would wish for like global poverty to be eradicated and like just get rid of like world hunger and like disease. like all that like bad stuff.
Yeah.
And my last one, like this one kind of fun. I wish to have like super sick lacrosse skills, like just be able to do like anything.
That is the ultimate goal, honestly. And that actually begs me to ask. Let me just jump into asking my first few questions, though. So, of course, I know you are currently working towards that, having the super lacrosse skills, as well as being the best engineer possible. So, on your journey to doing that, though, how do you balance being a lacrosse player at one moment and being a superstar engineer at the other moment? How do you balance doing that?
I feel like it's a lot of Google Calendar, just putting stuff in. Yeah, just like doing stuff whenever you can. Like I know there's definitely been times when like we've been like at games and like in between games, I'll just be like sitting on my computer, like trying to do some work or like on the bus. Yeah.
It sounds like a very productive lifestyle. That's really good. Where did you learn that from?
Sorry?
Where did you learn that from? Just how to be productive, or did you learn that from a friend or like a mentor?
I feel like my mom, like really is like always just like doing stuff. So yeah, I feel like I really kind of just like followed her example.
Interesting. All right. We'll talk some more about your family later on then. That's going to be an interesting talking point. So I know after all this is said and done, eventually the day comes. I'm talking about graduation, when this whole university journey, shall I say, comes to an end. So after you're done with that, what does the future or life after university look like for you? How do you imagine that being? What do you aspire to do?
Ooh, right now I'm really interested in like sustainable and like renewable energy. So I think it'd be really cool to like get into that sector.
All right.
Yeah.
That's very solid. I know, were you a part of the Engineers Without Borders Club as well?
Yeah, I currently am. Yeah.
You currently am. Can you talk some more about your involvement with that then?
Yeah, sure. So just like what Engineers Without Borders is, we have a local chapter, and EWB really does like a lot of stuff, particularly working towards like sustainability and like the eradication of poverty. So yeah, and then like right now what we're doing is like member learning, so our members can come and stuff. I'm going to be hosting a documentary screening in November.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm like the VP marketing right now, so I handle like media stuff and like some communication stuff as well.
That's pretty solid. I mean, first of all, you're doing something that I think is amazing to start off with, that probably isn't talked about enough. And of course, we'll get a lot more recognition and awareness due to people like you, of course, who are really pushing that agenda of sustainability. I commend that. And being the VP of marketing too, I mean, you have a lot on your plate. That's really impressive that you're able to do all of that. So well done. Now, this was kind of something I just heard through the grapevine, that you're a pretty avid music listener as well, that you're really into that. So what kind of music do you like to listen to?
Oh man, I feel like I listen to like a little bit of everything.
Okay.
But I feel like my top genres are kind of like pop, maybe like indie pop. Yeah, but I don't know. I just like to listen to like kind of like a bit of everything and just like pick out songs that I like from like different genres and
Nice.
my playlists.
It's good. You don't put yourself into a box. So what's your go-to way of discovering new music then? Do you just go on Apple Music or Spotify and just search up random playlists? Or how do you do it?
Sometimes I do that. Also, like on Spotify, they have like fans of this artist like also listen to. Sometimes I check that out. I really love talking about music with like other people and just seeing like what other people are listening to.
Okay.
So
That's interesting.
I listened to some of your music too, and I really liked it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's so fun.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So great. On that note, actually, I know that of course anything tends to inspire people, whether it's the music you're listening to, or the kind of art you like to look at, or the kind of books you read, or even just people you watch. I know you mentioned you're going to be a part of a documentary as well. But on the topic of just inspirations altogether, who are some of your inspirations in life?
Oh, in life, probably I already mentioned my mom, but like definitely my mom. Like I really just admire like how hard she works.
Okay,
So yeah, she's definitely like one of my top inspirations.
that's very solid. No one can ignore the mother's touch. Mother always has a special place in our hearts, for sure. So,
Yeah.
okay, I want to get to talking to your about your family real quick. So, of course, I have another round of just quick fire questions. This is now getting more personal. This is away from sports altogether now. This is you, Victoria, as a person. So I'm
Okay.
just gonna say a bunch of this or that questions, stuff like eggs or pancakes, or like
Oh,
maybe up or
fun.
down, just those kind of things. And I
Okay.
just want to see which one you prefer. So, do you prefer daytime or nighttime?
Probably nighttime.
Nighttime, okay. Do you prefer texts or calls?
Calls.
Calls. Interesting.
To type stuff out.
Fair enough. You're the first person to have asked that and said calls, I think.
Yeah, I feel
That's
like it's
interesting.
a question, but
Yeah. All right. Do you prefer jackets or sweaters?
oh, sweaters.
Sweaters, okay. Do you play video games? No?
No.
Okay, I
I
want to ask you
don't
this
really
question.
guess.
I'll skip that one. Do you prefer Marvel or DC?
Mm, Probably Marvel, but like not really either. I'm not really into like comic books.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So, let's see. Do you prefer the spring or the fall?
Oh, wax season.
That's the spirit. And of course, last one. Do you prefer summer or winter then?
Mm, that's a tough one.
Mm,
Maybe winter.
winter. Why do you say winter?
I really like to ski, and then like winter holidays always just reminds me of like fun times with my family.
Yes. Those cozy moments. You
Yeah.
know, it's very, very adorable. All right. So finally, on the topic of family, tell me, just in summarize altogether, tell us your life story up until this point that you are at now. If you were to summarize it in like a minute, I guess where you were born, significant moments that happened to you as you were growing up, maybe introduce us to family members if you want to talk about that too. Just the very general stuff. In a minute, summarize your life story up until this point.
Oh man. Okay. Um, so yeah, I was born in Toronto and I grew up in Etobicoke, and I have a younger sister. Um, and we grew up and had like a lot of fun times together. And then throughout my like childhood, I feel like I played sports a lot. Like I always did like cross country and I played soccer and I danced as well. So I always had like a love of sports. But I didn't start playing lacrosse until high school,
Okay.
like my last year of high school actually. So it's kind of crazy that I like tried out for the team. But yeah, and then also like I really enjoyed like math and science. So I did like a lot of STEM subjects in high school as well, which kind of just like the combination of all that brought me here. So hopefully that was good.
Yes, that was perfect. The whole everything just aligned perfectly to put you in this final role being an engineer and a lacrosse player at the same time. So what first of all caused you to go into playing lacrosse in your final year of high school? How did that happen?
Yeah, my school like hadn't had a team before that. And then yeah, my final year they started up a team, and like my dad and my cousins had played lacrosse, so I was always kind of interested in trying it. So I decided to try it and I really liked it. So then I okay.
That was perfect. It was a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
And then So what then moved you to try out for the lacrosse team in Ontario Tech? Yeah, I mean, you could have easily just said, you know what, I just want to play lacrosse for fun. How did you come to that decision?
Yeah, I thought it'd be really cool to join a varsity team if I could, because that's like a really unique opportunity. Um, and then I like really loved lacrosse, even just playing that like 1 year. I just had so much fun like learning how to like throw the ball and just like different stick skills. And then I was like debating between lacrosse and rowing, but
Oh,
I like was like, I don't know if I want to get up like super early, um, go to Port Perry and row. And I also just like really did enjoy lacrosse, so I decided to do that instead of
fair
rowing.
enough, fair enough. I
Yeah.
know. No, that was straightforward then.
Mhm.
So then talking about your family now, I know your family has probably come to see some of your games and whatnot, been there through the ups and the downs, the whole journey. So
Mhm.
what is your family like? How much of an influence have they played for you in your career as a lacrosse player, as an engineering student, and your other parts of your life altogether?
Yeah, I feel like I'm very family oriented. So like my family has influenced me quite a bit. Um, I would say my family's like pretty fun. Also, like they have had quite an influence because like my dad, like having played lacrosse, like influenced me to play it as well. Um, and my stepdad's an engineer, so just kind of like being around him, like inspired me to like kind of just like go for it.
Yeah,
Um, just like seeing his passion for it, I feel like has really kind of like helped build my passion for it as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's solid. Yeah. So your family is really into it. And I think that's really good because I know sometimes some people might be in a sport and of course your family might have never tried it out before, but of course your family will always support you. But this
Mhm.
is an added benefit that you have family who have been in the sport too. So that's great.
Yeah.
So let me wrap it up with this then.
Okay.
For people who don't know you that well, let's say they've never really gotten a chance to speak with you or have an interaction with you, what are you like as an individual? If you were to sum up yourself, your personality, things you like to do away from the sports life, who is Victoria?
Ooh, okay. I would say I'm kind of like quirky. I don't know. I think everyone thinks that they're like, um, yeah, I think I'm like, I seem shy at first, but I really do like to talk and like make strong connections with people. Um, and what else? Some of my interests. I really like, yeah, like reading and listening to music, stuff like that. And I love nature.
Oh, yeah. What are some of your favorite places in Oshawa, since that's where Ontario Tech is, to go to?
In Oshawa, there's like some trails that are there's some like behind the school, and then there's also some like on the other side of Simcoe, like through one of the little like neighborhoods
Yeah.
that are like fun to go on, and they're like very close because I live near here, so that's where I go.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. All right. Fantastic. So, I mean, we've actually learned quite a whole lot about you as a person. You've gotten to see the influence of your family, how you adore your mom so much. You've gotten to see your love for music and passion for the environment, sustainability, engineering. So many sides to you as an individual now. So this is your chance that we always like to do at the end, just to, I guess, shout out anyone you would like to shout out, talk about anyone we probably missed, name drop anybody you want to name drop at this end. This is your moment. Just kind of tie up the whole thing together.
A shout out. I'll give a shout out to the entire Ridgeback women's lacrosse team, awesome gals. Yeah, I'm so lucky to have gotten to know them, and I'm really happy to be practicing with everyone still. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's very wholesome. That's what we like to see. This is the content we like to see. All right, Victoria. I mean, thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking with you.